Good morning, students. Welcome back to the online classes of English Literature for class 2nd. Today we are going to start our new lesson named The Mitten. Once I am going to read the lesson for you. While playing in the snow, a little boy lost his mitten. A small owl founded the mitten. The mitten is so warm, let me sleep for a while. So saying, he cuddled up into the mitten. As the owl was about to sleep, a rabbit came by. Dear owl, it is cold outside. Will you let me in? Sure, rabbit, we must share our things. As the owl and the rabbit settled down to sleep, a fox came by. Can I come in? You can come in if you can fit in. The fox put his nose inside the mitten. Slowly he put his ears inside. Then he put his head and finally he was in the mitten. The mitten became bigger and bigger. As the three animals became comfortable, a bear came by. Can I come in? You can come in if you can fit in. When the bear got inside, the mitten became bigger and bigger and bigger. And then a mouse came by. Can I come in? If I can fit, the mouse can too. The mouse settled comfortably and suddenly, achoo! The bear sneezed. The mitten split into many pieces and the animals went flying. The bear landed in a cave where he went to sleep. The fox landed in a den and went to sleep. The rabbit landed in a hole in the ground and went to sleep. The owl landed in a hole in a tree and went to sleep. The little mouse shared his home with the rabbit. The torn mitten landed at the feet of the young boy. He picked up the mitten, but he was surprised. Wonder how the mitten grew so big. Why it is torn. So student, this is your story. I'm going to explain it. On a cold winter day, when the entire forest was covered in a white blanket of snow, a little boy was playing in the snow. While playing, he lost his mitten. A small owl found the mitten and he said to himself that how the mitten is so warm. Let me sleep for some time. Just as the owl was making himself comfortable and was about to sleep in his house, a rabbit came and called out to the owl and asked, Dear owl, it is cold outside. Will you let me in? On this, the owl replied, Sure, rabbit, we must share our things. So the owl welcomed the rabbit in the mitten. Just as they settled to sleep, a fox came by, and he asked, Can I come in? So on this, they replied, Yes, you can come in. See if you can fit in. Slowly the fox put his nose and ear inside the mitten, and then his head, and lastly he was settled in the mitten. And the mitten became bigger and bigger. As the three animals settled comfortable in the mitten, a bear came there and asked, Can I come in? On this, they replied, Yes, you can come in if you can fit in. As the bear settled inside the mitten became bigger and bigger and bigger. And lastly, a mouse also came, and he asked, "Can I come in?" On this, the fox replied, "Yes, if you can fit. If I can fit, the mouse can too." As the mouse settled, the bear sneezed. The bear could not hold his sneeze, and with a loud sound he sneezed so hard that the mitten split into many pieces, and the animals went flying up in the air. After this, everyone landed to the place where they belong and sleep there. Like the bear landed in a cave and went to sleep. The fox landed in a den and went to sleep. The rabbit landed in a hole in the ground and went to sleep. The owl landed in a hole in a tree and went to sleep. And lastly, Mouse shared his home with the rabbit and they went also to sleep. And finally, the torn mitten landed at the feet of the young boy. He picked the mitten and was surprised because the mitten was torn. He asked how the mitten grew so big and why it is torn. So student, in this story you find that the little boy who lost his mitten in the snow, soon after an animal find its way into the glove to seek warmth and shelter. It doesn't take long until many animals have the same idea. Eventually, the mitten burst and threw all the animals to the place where they belong, and the torn mitten was found by the boy. So, student, I hope you understood the story. I'll be uploading the written work also. Do it neatly in your notebook. Thank you.